What's up, everyone? This is King Crypto. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Ethereum and a few really prominent business figures that are invested in Ethereum even more than Bitcoin, and why it is a little bit more valuable than maybe some of us realize. First off, I'd like to say thank you to my subscribers and my new ones as well. Hopefully we can push 33,000 by the end of next week. That's my goal. Right now I'm at 32,800 something, so it's not too far off. So if you guys like this video and you like what I'm doing, please subscribe. That's the best way to support me, and I will definitely return the favor with some free Litecoin if you comment. Alright, so let's talk about it. Why CEOs of Circle, Coinbase, and major crypto firms are bullish on Ethereum. It's important to understand Ethereum before we go into this. Ethereum is really the foundation of decentralized apps. They're the first ones to do it, at least successfully. And if we look at the coin market cap, there are so many of these cryptocurrencies that have originally came from Ethereum before maybe creating their own mainnet. Mainnet is essentially just separating from one platform to their own, kind of like what EOS did. And I don't know, it's not coming to my head, but there's plenty of others that have done the same. Ethereum just has this ability for people to write the right kind of code down to create a platform that solves a problem in the form of an ERC20 token. And this is all based around Solidity, Ethereum's coding mechanism. So Ethereum is a huge reason why there has been so much adoption in the crypto markets. Now, there are a lot of Bitcoin maximalists that believe that it should be just Bitcoin that we're focusing on, and maybe just some of these top 10 coins, and that everything else is really just in the way. And that could be true. It could very well be true, but in my personal estimation, I think that Bitcoin solves one problem very well, but there are absolutely some things lacking in it that Ethereum solves, and there's other cryptocurrencies that solve things that Ethereum can't solve, like Digibyte. One of the most underrated coins in my opinion. It's the fastest cryptocurrency I think there is right now, and it updates its blocks I think every 5 seconds. I made a video about this as well, but the point is that Bitcoin is the first of its kind, and although there is introduction to the Lightning Network, which could make Bitcoin transactions almost like, what is it, super fast. That's the best word I could come up with. Really fast and really cheap. But until then, right now we have coins that just do it better. So Ethereum is just a whole different thing. And that is why Coinbase's CEO owns more Ethereum than Bitcoin. We can see that there's a few CEOs that were talking about this. Circle co-founder and CEO Jeremy Allaire said ETH could be the catalyst for the next crypto rally because of the developer activity on Ethereum blockchain. I didn't know this, but 30,000 or 300,000 developers are on the Ethereum network, and more than 50,000 developers are joining on a monthly basis. He also noted that he does not know a single Ethereum developer that has not become a millionaire yet. The founder, this is even a different CEO, sorry. Founder and CEO of Aragon, a decentralized governance protocol based on Ethereum. See what I'm saying? And it's used by major blockchain networks such as District 0x and Request Network. Like just right there, Aragon is based on Ethereum, and it gives you the ability to create a multitude of different services in the use of a token. Let's say you don't trust how data is being used in the centralized world. There is an Ethereum platform right now, or a company that has created code from Ethereum that is trying to decentralize that. Internet of Things, advertising, social media, data storage, and more are all becoming decentralized thanks to Ethereum. It's also interesting to note that Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, really introduced cryptocurrency to America in a way that was easy to digest and easy to understand. I mean, there's still a learning curve, of course, but compared to how things used to be, even a few years back, there's not as much mystery on how to buy Bitcoin and how to use it for everyday functions. So it's just very interesting that you would find people like that. A man who has created a platform that is a billionaire because of it is now saying that he owns more Ethereum than Bitcoin. So it's very important to pay attention to people who have the kind of resources that these people have, because they know things that we don't know, and they got there with that kind of money for a reason. So that's how I do some of my judgment based on how do successful people become successful. And also Circle Invest as well is a $3 billion company that is also a crypto exchange and a place where you can buy Bitcoin as well. And they also believe that Ethereum will cause a bullish market condition and perhaps a bull run next time. I'd also like to note that billionaire Google co-founder Sergey Brin is also an Ethereum miner who really has an affinity to the platform, and in fact mines with his 10-year-old son. That is really special. I really wish I knew about that, the whole mining aspect of Bitcoin back when it counted, but his son is going to probably have a much different life than we did, considering that most of us probably got into it last year. So he's also interested in the zero-knowledge proof, which is a cryptography principle which enables to prove something without actually revealing the knowledge. This is kind of what develops a lot of the private cryptocurrencies that we know of, like Zcash, to enable privacy features where users can conceal the transaction information while still securing the network. So that's very interesting. And it's important to note too that there's a lot of people that understand cryptocurrencies more than you may think. In fact, today I set out on Facebook Marketplace to find a luggage bag because I'm going on vacation, and I found a good bag from a really, really rich guy, and I told him what I do as a profession, and he was like talking to me about Bitcoin, and this guy's like in his 60s or 50s, late 50s at least. He's retired, yet he owns 3 Bitcoin. I was like, wow, that's really interesting, man. And he was like, yeah, what do you think? Where do you think the market's going to go? And he was telling me that his son has about, not his son, but his friend's son has like $50 million worth of Bitcoin because he bought really early. And he bought a penthouse with the funds. So you can kind of get the idea that maybe some rich people, it's almost kind of like a dirty word, cryptocurrency. But I assure you more people know about it and respect it than you may think. So we're going to move on to the next video. Please watch it through if you want to win some Litecoin and tell me what you think about the project. Alright guys, let's talk about High Performance Blockchain, or HPB. Just to let you know, this is a paid-for explanation of what HPB is. However, after researching it a little bit, I went from thinking it was really stupid to actually pretty useful application of the blockchain. And it solves a lot of problems that a lot of cryptocurrencies still are struggling to deal with. As we can see, they're ranked 112. They are absolutely a legitimate company with a market cap of almost $80 million with a very long way to go still. Now, the name is stupid, in my opinion. Maybe in Chinese it sounds a lot more interesting, but high performance blockchain kind of, I don't know, it's kind of hokey. But we'll forget about the name and we'll talk about what they're actually doing. So they're the first company to combine software with hardware, accelerated hardware, to significantly improve ease of use and speed of data transfer. Now, what makes them interesting is they're flexible, and they can help other companies along with their own implementations of blockchain technology. If we talk about Chinese companies like Alibaba, Baidu, and Tencent, they are in need of, if they were to get into the blockchain hemisphere, they would need a third party that really understands how to scale well. And HPB is recognized for having really high transaction speed times, or TPS, time per transaction. Am I saying that right? Transaction per second. Holy crap. Sorry, guys. I'm running low on sleep. But yeah, TPS. They expect that they will be able to reach a million transactions per second, which is pretty impressive if you ask me, and even more so as they go along with their all of their test net. Well, they did that mainnet, launching industry implementation solution plan, and their final version 2019. That's when we'll really see if the words, or if they walk the walk and talk the talk. I think it's the other way around. But Baidu, Alibaba, these are all obviously very prominent companies in China, and Baidu is actually the fourth most searched website behind, I think, Google, Facebook, and one other. So, oh, and YouTube. That's right. So, Baidu, if they were to work, they actually are working with them at the moment, and UnionPay is probably their biggest company that they are working alongside with to implement these kinds of interesting innovations into our space. So it's flexible. That's what really makes it interesting. It can work, and it can even help other blockchains become a lot faster. Now, let's talk about the team a little bit. We got Xiaoming Wang. I'm going to try to pronounce the best I can. And this guy is, let me see, my notes. Previous employee of UnionPay, clearly a crypto enthusiast. He's actually written 3 books pertaining to the blockchain, and the guy absolutely knows what he's talking about when it comes to the blockchain, at least. We got Jinxing Li, 3 years of experience as a senior blockchain analyzer at Shanghai. If we're going to skip, we'll see Zhang Ru is actually the member of a Nobel Prize winning team for physics. Pretty impressive. And he also was a data scientist at eBay. We can see that their advisors are absolutely flawless. Executive President at UnionPay Smart, Kai Long. National High Performance Laboratory Responsible Person. I don't know what that really means. I suppose it's good. We got Zheng Li, OKCoin co-founder, Bitbox co-founder. That's a pretty big deal. CEO of Bixen, Gang Wu. Transwiser CEO, Jialing Liu, and GDEX founder. And they also are investors, or there's an advisor and investor, and that is NEO. NEO is accompanied with HPB. So rather than those two trying to battle it out and compete, they're trying to lift each other up and create a decentralized world together. So that is pretty impressive to me. And from what I have seen so far, there's a few other, let's see, on Reddit, there's this post, I've been seeing this kind of everywhere, this kind of explanation. I guess it's like a copy and paste thing. But as I've said, UnionPay is a pretty big partnership. And a lot of those people that were on the team for HPB are also working at UnionPay, which makes sense. It's not familiar. We're not familiar in America, but they do 80% of all Chinese transaction data, which is a turnout of over $12.5 trillion per year. You can imagine that's absurd. I'm surprised I've never heard of UnionPay, but that is how it is there. They're bigger than Visa and MasterCard combined. That's really nuts. So it's funny because when Verge said they made the biggest partnership in the world and they said Pornhub, it was kind of just a real joke. Just to say that was kind of a joke, right? The fundraising involved, nobody even knew what they were raising the money for, what company, right? And HPB actually probably does have one of the biggest partnerships ever in cryptocurrency, and nobody talks about it. So it's kind of weird. But it is true. It's absolutely true. So I'm not sure when this was posted, 6 months ago. Yeah, that's when this came out. And it's just it's an interesting cryptocurrency. I like it when I get to do sponsored ad or sponsored content where I don't have to try as much. This one wasn't as hard. I have to admit, a few things that they could work on is the aesthetic of their white paper. Everything is grammatically correct. Everything is explained really well. However, to me that does count for something, making it look appealing to the eye. And their website too could look a little bit better. It looks, I don't know how to explain it. It's not as clear as it could be. Now, these are things that are not really that important, but it is to me because almost every website that is successful has those things without any questions. So I don't know. If I were to critique, I would critique that, and they could probably do a better job marketing because they have a great product. I guess that's why I got paid to talk about it. But anyway, tell me what you guys think about this project, if you liked it, if you didn't. And that's essentially it. Whoever gives me the best response will win Litecoin for the next video. As I said, I'm going on vacation next week doing some pretty big things, and I will also talk about that next week. And I'll try to make videos as much as I can. Anyway, thank you guys for sticking around. I'm King Crypto. Let's get cryptical. No.